Hello. Today I will be talking about the incidence and prevalence of drug-facilitated rape. My roles and contribution in this project were bringing my camera as well as filming, and since I was filming, I was also doing most of the directing of the video, so positioning everything and seeing how it looked, so producing it, and I also edited the whole video and added the voiceover. So first I will talk about the most common drugs used in date rape cases. So there's three of them that are typically used. The first one is gamma hydroxybutyric acid, also known as liquid ecstasy or GHB. Since it does come in a liquid form, so it has no taste, no color, and it doesn't even have to dissolve. So victims obviously often do not know that it's put in their drink. The next one is ketamine. Ketamine is also in liquid form, and once again, it doesn't have any taste, any color. And finally, the last one is flunitrazepam, also known as Rohypnol, which comes in form of a pill, often already crushed up, so that the victim does not see it. And once again, it has no taste, and it dissolves very fast. I will now be giving numbers and statistics on the incidence and prevalence of date rape facilitated um, of date rape drug facilitated rape. So in their lifetime, it is proven that around 1 out of 5 women, so 20% of women, will be sexually abused. Around 1 out of 71 men will be sexually abused. So there's a big difference there. And this is usually because a lot of men are usually the aggressors because of their size and build compared to women's biological size and build. So it is easier for them to be the aggressor rather than the victim. However, it still does happen pretty often that a man will be the victim and a woman can be the aggressor. 34.6% of these sexual harassment cases, sexual abuse, rape cases, are done through, are drug facilitated. So by that, I mean that it is them that are being, drugs are used in it, whether they took them knowingly or not knowingly. Um, After that, 90% of the victims are women, like I mentioned before, and 10% of the victims are men. I will now be talking about involuntary versus voluntary drug use. So, involuntary drug use refers to when a person takes drugs not knowingly. So, when drugs are slipped into their drink without the knowledge of the person who takes the drink. And versus voluntary. So, voluntary is when the drugs or the alcohol were consumed voluntarily by a person. However, even when it is voluntary, both of these are followed by non-consenting sexual activities, which means it is still considered rape. And surprisingly, the ratio for this is around 50-50. So 50% of people do it involuntarily, whereas 50% of people take the drugs, the date rape drugs or alcohol voluntarily. Finally, I will be talking about the incidences of this on university campuses. So university campuses are some of the most affected places. About 25% of women will be sexually assaulted in college, which is 5% more than women in general. Men are also victim of sex crimes, however, like in general, and nearly 90% of these are juvenile, so under 18, they're 17 or younger. About 99% of sexual assault perpetrators are male, and only 1% are women. And more than 12% of these completed rapes, the victim is on a date with the perpetrator, and this is also true for 35% of attempted rapes where the victim in the end gets away or gets saved somehow. Students in sorority houses and on-campus living, or frat houses too, have a much higher chance of being victims of sexual assault than if they're living off campus. And students in fraternities are more likely to be perpetrators of sexual assault, so the aggressor, rather than non-fraternity men. Male college athletes in aggressive sports also have a much higher likelihood to use sexual coercion and to demonstrate sexism, acceptance of violence, and hostility towards women than others.